What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the left side of the map, in the red color, playing as Loki. He is one of the more famous heavy metal bands out there. His name is AOL IronMaiden. His opponent today, in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is Shadowfax, and he is indeed Gandalf's horse. This man has had the blessing of Gandalf bestowed upon him. However, he is still not aware of how to play the early game with Ra, because he's still playing not the meta. What is this? Did he get himself husbandry build? It's so. He's got all this hunt over here. I just want Egyptian players to get into the game and have a fair playing field. Loki players, Thor players, Odin players, they've all got these new fandangle builds. Like at the start of the game, instead of going to food, you chop down specifically 30 wood or whatever it is, and then you go to food, and that way you can afford to get your temple, your house, and everything else, and not have to build a second ox cart, not have any of that walking time. These new fandangle Norse players, they've got all the cool stuff, but these old school Ra players, they're crusty. They've been playing the game for too long, and they're still stuck in 2005. As we are seeing a movement over here onto all of this hunt that's here, and Shadowfax is going to be very upset about his lack of hunting dogs, which he is trying to get the gold for, and he will be researching soon. He does find himself the Trojan Gate hinge here, but enough of Shadowfax here. We have a Loki player over here. Let's talk about this guy here. If you guys don't know AOL IronMaiden, he does have a Twitch channel. He's a hilarious dude, quite known for his Tyler 1 like rages. I do have a fairly hilarious clip of Mr. Maiden losing it at his teammates for not scouting a town center, and he means it well. He's just having a good time, but it's funny. Anyways, Maiden is a Nilla player, and in fact, so is Shadowfax. What does a Nilla player mean? It means they learnt the game on the original game. So you have Extended Edition, you have the original game Titans, and then you have the original game Vanilla. Vanilla only had Greek, Egyptian, and Norse. And then they had things like no free myth units, Townsend is in the Third Age, and all the other good stuff that came with that. And now we're seeing Shadowfax throwing up his temple. We'll see what he's going to do here. Generally speaking, the Ra player wants to go through Tar in this matchup because he's going to have access to Shifting Sands to kill off a couple of those Hersa. And we see a very, very wild forward temple here for Maiden. But what is this map? I haven't even mentioned the map. 3 minutes and 15 seconds in. This is Arctic Craters. A fantastic map, one of my favorites. It's got a couple of features. So one feature is that it's really, really big. It's a really big map, which favors a lot of the faster speedy civs, like Loki, for example. The next part about it is you get these big craters, and this is one of the few maps which you can actually see some of the elevation bonus applied in-game. If you have a archer up here shooting down to a unit that's down here, they will get an elevation bonus, which I believe is like a 200% bonus. I could be wrong about that. It might be 75% for that bonus. Someone in chat might want to tell me exactly, but the fact is you don't see it in a normal game because you never get the elevation this big here. So onwards and upwards. There is something getting grabbed. Like a relic was popped in here. Yeah, the Trojan Gate hinge. Probably not going to see too many walls on this map either because the forests, they're quite small and it's really, really hard to wall off the map in its entirety. And there we go, seeing Shadowfax throw down those cheap walls here, or stronger walls, I should say, 720 HP. As now our Loki player, IronMaiden, ready to start pushing in. He's going to be taking down Shadowfax's tower here. Shadowfax being a little bit greedy, not throwing up his wall segments just yet. He is going to be making a priest. Can swing the pharaoh over here when he gets to the next age. A very, very late Classical Age here from Shadowfax, and he's going to be throwing away his priest. A little bit unfortunate. Got to get away from that one as Maiden going to be continuing to take down this Sentry Tower. There is the Classical Age from Shadowfax as the priest can now start saying g'day, but Maiden's already gotten what he wanted out of this early pressure. That beautiful 10 favor. Going to be able to get himself Hall of Fames and start getting very, very aggressive here. Now, the problem for Shadowfax is on this map, town centers, second town centers are very, very hard to grab. They're super far away from your home base and there's never anything on them. You can see it's just a crater. There's nothing around them. There's nothing around them. Sometimes you can get some food on the outskirts of it, but that's not going to be safe to eat. So we're seeing a one town center play here from Shadowfax. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing, especially because of the second gold mine here, Shadowfax going for a fast Mythic build. Going straight in for Osiris, and that son of Osiris is going to have to carry Shadowfax. Now, that being said, Maiden's got to think about what he could potentially do here. He's not got any real avenue to put pressure onto his opponent. There's already a Priest Pharaoh. You might even see a barracks with a couple of Axemen coming out. There's the barracks, as we do see Maiden throwing down a raiding cavalry here as well. And I don't see this raid getting too much damage done with that beautifully safe watchtower. Maiden going to be trying to swing around here, maybe going after this watchtower. Got to be super careful. Don't want to lose that because this gold mine is important. We see a stray granary getting thrown down as Maiden is going to attempt to push in here and get some damage done. But he is under the tower fire and the town center fire, as we will be seeing a trade of one priest there for one Herser. A second Herser going to be falling there as the villagers get pulled off the line. Now the Pharaoh going to be taking down the free troll that's here, and the Herser going to be retreating away. This troll over here will fall as well, and that is a beautiful defense there from Shadowfax. Maiden throwing away quite a lot in that situation is now going to see the farms get thrown up for Shadowfax. He still hasn't started, and oh no, he's built his armor over here, so that's very, very good. Still getting himself a lot of wood, probably going to be thinking about getting himself a plow, husbandry, shaft mine, all the good stuff that comes from that, but still hasn't defended this watchtower, which is definitely a big mistake, because that means if Maiden can take this down, he can make some big sweeping raids straight in with no pressure. There's the rain coming in as the priest coming over here trying to throw some of those rocks at the raiding cavalry, but they're just going to say, lol, what's that damage there? 3.3 minus the 34%. It's not much damage at all. As the tower does end up coming down. The farm's all up now for Shadowfax, and the Herser still poking their head in here, want to get onto this, but you have to remember, if you're underneath the town center that's getting empowered, that's a lot of arrows getting thrown out. You think you get an extra 100% on your arrows. So normally town centers shoot 2, but empowered town center shoots 4. That's very, very big. Now let's move over here. Check out Maiden's economy. He's now starting to build another dwarf over onto this location. Bit surprised to see that. As we've seen Loki and other Norse players get a little bit better, we're actually starting to see something slightly different. But this isn't what Maiden's doing. It's kind of new meta, and not a lot of the Norse players have really talked about it. But Norse players have been forever going like 10 dwarves and then just keep building dwarves onto food. Turns out that you can go something like 7 dwarves onto gold and then just build gatherers onto your food. And it's just as good, if not better, and it means your gold mines don't expire as fast. And we are seeing a raid over onto this location. The villagers should pull away. A Maiden pulls back. He needs... Maybe he feels okay just to move in and try and take this location. Now he's going after this priest. Nice garrison micro from Shadowfax as he is going through Hathor now. Very, very late. This stray Axeman does end up getting saved here as the tower is going to get torn down. Shadowfax very, very greedy, not putting up the wall segments around this tower here. And that's allowing Maiden to get a lot of value out of these Herser that he otherwise shouldn't have really had. And he is trying to pull back, keeping some of these units alive. This low HP rating cavalry here getting a bunch of free hits onto the Pharaoh, but there's another troll spawn onto this location as the Pharaoh getting pushed back there now. Lots of damage onto that one. We see the priest able to start taking down the Iron Heart, and yet another watchtower might be going down fairly soon as the villagers returning back over onto this gold mine. Shadowfax does have the 250 wood that he needs, so he doesn't necessarily need more wood. If he has pickaxe already, he does have pickaxe already, so he can just simply get straight shaft mine. Doesn't have to worry about any more wood in the game, as Maiden's still going to attempt to keep pushing, putting pressure onto this location here as the Pharaoh moving forward, going to attempt to get onto that troll, but the Pharaoh does end up getting sniped down. Nice micro from Maiden. The priest is here though. He's going to slowly take down the troll, but one Herser will be able to thwack this this Hearser down as another INR spawn coming in here as Maiden is getting a whole heap of value out of this early push here onto this gold mine. This gold mine from Maiden, from Shadowfax, very, very low here as well. Needs to think about getting up that Migdol stronghold as he does garrison the Patsukos over here. Is he building another one? He is going to get 2 Patsukos. If you have 2 Patsukos, you one hit every villager. The dwarves do survive with like 1 HP though. But he is going to grab that second Patsukos here and start looking to get some rock grades. The rock does only move at 4.0 speed though, so it isn't that good. We are going to be seeing the Hearser going to attempt to move over here onto the Patsukos, but that simply just gets garrisoned. The Axemen get a whole bunch of damage done. The Patsukos taking down a raiding cavalry here as well, as all the Hearser do end up falling damage onto the Iron there, as he does manage to take that one down there. Oh, no, for some reason the 1 HP Iron survived the priest there, as he does end up falling, and Maiden gets pushed back. Shadowfax in a fantastic position here, but Maiden has got the map control. And there is this gold mine over here that is perfectly healthy and ready to be eaten. And we'll see what Shadowfax wants to do here as the game progresses. We see the villagers moving around the map. There is tons of food on this map. Absolute tons. And that's because it's such a big map. You can just move around. So if Shadowfax can find it, he's going to be laughing. But finding it is the difficult part with the slow rock. A lot of the times it's very, very smart idea to just build 1 spearman and just run that around the map. And then once you've scouted the entirety of the map, this is with Ra specifically, once you've scouted the entire map, you'll be able to see that there's villagers here by just doing the old cheeky, this doesn't work on extended edition, but doing the old cheeky select over the thing. You can't see it because there's not a ball here. But you can actually see that there's villagers there as the rock flying in. Maiden's going to be chasing this one down. Generally speaking, the answer to rock for the Norse players is to get watchtowers and then throw down a hill fort onto your gold mine, as we are seeing the dwarves searching for the gold mine. He is moving down onto this corner gold mine here, which I actually really, really like. I don't think Shadowfax is going to really find that one anytime soon, especially as Ra with the very little amounts of gold that he can get. Sorry, scouting he can get. We are seeing that market coming down. So Shadowfax's strategy from the get-go has been some quasi-semi-fast Mythic here. This is kind of standard from the Ra players. Though I think that this specific build from Shadowfax leaves a lot to be desired. And generally speaking, you do want that second monument up so that you can get things like an extra pharaoh out in the Mythic age. You can get out a whole bunch of mummy as well, and just have a ton of have a ton of favor. But that's not what's happening here. The Osiris is going to come through, and now the difficulty here for Maiden is, what does he do? How does Maiden proceed here in this game? He's going to the heroic age. If I'm playing in this situation, I think my opponent, he's 1 town center still. He's either got full villages and he's going to shifting sands onto my hometown center, or he's going for the Mythic Age. What's more likely? He's going for the Mythic Age. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to go to the Mythic Age myself. This town center, I don't go for this town center. I go straight through tier here. Straight through tier. Town center, no. Negative, negative, negative. And then I start thinking about getting out some ballast to try and take down that son of a size because he's so strong. Or we just try and catch him out and risk it all on that with a flaming weapons push. But we see the rock checking out this town center getting grabbed. Shadowfax has got plenty of resources in the bank here, and it's going to be a bit of a grind here. This is another option from Maiden, which is grabbing town centers and going booming and trying to take the game into a kind of late game situation where with a slight advantage is the aim here. But we'll see how it's going to go as the unit's going to start moving out. They're very, very weak axemen and spearmen. Town center finishing up there for Maiden. As the siege works is coming down. Osiris just about to pop here for Shadowfax. He's at 85% now. And there's that second monument we were talking about, which Shadowfax throwing down now, but he definitely should have already had it up. But he's going to be making a move forward, going to be throwing up a Migdol stronghold onto this location here. That might tempt Maiden to go for a flaming weapons timing attack here, but he's going to be very, very careful. And the rock is still searching around for something to attack here as these dwarves chilling on this location already. Maiden back here with the brand Code Lover. He loves the mythology code so much. One of the only person I've ever known to really love the Jukey Jukes. one of the only people I've ever known to really love Age of Mythology's coding. So we see, an Iron here spawn. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, is not how you use Locust. But a very, very nice juke there from Maiden nonetheless. But the rock is still being very frustrating over here for Maiden. You have to do a lot of effort to stop the rock raids without getting up the sentry towers or the watchtowers here. And we'll see the villagers retreating away. The Patsukos need to target down gatherers first. That is the big one you want to be doing. As the mummy moving in, going to immediately take down one of those battle ball. You have to be careful though. The mummy going to get surrounded. Nope, going to be retreating back. The Son of Osiris is in here as well. Going to move back onto this location as we will be seeing Maiden probably going for an attempt at a flaming weapons push here. Get a big surround here, and he does cast that flaming weapons, but a little bit too early here. The Son of Osiris is now getting targeted down by the heavy raider here. There's no real escape here for that Son of Osiris. The siege towers moving over here, but we do see a shifting sands from Shadowfax to pull back. Very, very nice play there to counter that flaming weapons. Beautiful, in fact, as the Son of Osiris yet again out of position, getting pushed forward. The Hersa coming in, going to be jumping straight onto the Son of Osiris, doing so much damage to him. He's at nearly half HP, but still retreating away here. We see the mummy getting pulled back over here, ready to start using those special abilities onto those battle ball. Picks off yet another battle ball there. That's 2 battle ball kills for the mummy. Son of Osiris does end up getting sniped there. One more takedown, and he does end up falling. Beautiful play by Maiden, able to take this one down, but he is going to be fizzling out here on this push as Shadowfax loses his Son of Osiris, but Maiden loses most of his army. He still has 5 seconds left of this flaming weapons, but he just could not continue to make that push happen. And we see another battle ball falling there as that mummy is the hero mummy here. But Maiden has to pull back. He's taking the Son of Osiris down. And that really, really changes Maiden's position here, because now he doesn't have to worry about an unkillable Son of Osiris, which completely owns his army. He's dealt with it. So he can get himself into a very, very strong position now, because he's on 2 town centers. This town center for Shadowfax cannot be allowed to freely get up in this game. We'll see if Maiden's going to be able to get over there or not with a battle ball or a couple of units. But Shadowfax is going to get pushed back. So where to now for Maiden? Maiden needs to essentially just get his economy sorted in the heroic age. Getting to the mythic age, not so important. He just needs to get into that Norse player's mindset, and he's got of that army comp with the extra economy that Norse players have with all of the extra that they get from dwarves, and he should be completely fine. But he is going to continue fighting, and we do see this mummy getting dropped down. If you ever pick the mummy up in a rock, that does reset the cooldown there. The army still fighting this Anhia, helping out so much as Maiden is able to take the majority of Shadowfax's army down here. But Shadowfax is still fine. He needs to get more of those mummies out. And guess what would have been helpful? Or favor. Get that monument up a little bit earlier. There's another battle point. He's my mate. He's my mate. I'm just making fun of him. It's all good. He's so much better than me at this game. Anyways, battle ball, retreating away, doing all the good stuff. Hill fort. Going to get thrown down for Maiden. A bit aggressive. Hopefully he gets it up and he's going to be okay. But you have these double gold mines here as well for Shadowfax. So he's got gold for days, and he does end up managing to get this town center up, which is absolutely huge because now it's 2 town centers apiece. Villager advantage is heavily Maiden right now. 61 villagers for Maiden. But does he have a market up? Can he go Mythic Age? Oh, he doesn't have a market up. You hate to see it. Mythic Age here? Through tier, because if he would just buy that food and go Mythic Age right now, I think is a very, very winning position for the Loki player here. But if he continues to fight this, I'm not so sure. It's going to be tough because he has to just keep spending those resources. In fact, he is still spending those resources trying to make a whole bunch of Jarl out here to deal with the Axemen. And the Axemen just deal so much damage to these Hersa that Shadowfax can just hold for so long. And look at the difference in resources. So many in the bank for Maiden. Not many in the bank for Shadowfax. Shadowfax doing a very, very nice job of keeping those resources low. And we'll see what's going to happen here as Maiden is continuing to still try and build those battle ball. But Shadowfax Mummy is just out of this world big here. And you can see Maiden just not able to make this work here thus far. The Mummy out of position. He got to try and get in and snipe that one before the battle ball gets taken down again. And we will be seeing that happen. The battle ball, nope. He decides to let the mummy live, and the battle ball will end up getting sniped yet again. And we see a house getting taken down over here. And Maiden is just now going through hell. I don't mind the hell. I think the hell might be actually okay, but you know you are up against mummies. So the fire giant are not that important here, as the mummies can take them down very simply. What's more important is really hurting the Ra player's economy. Hitting a Fimbulwinter onto this talent center also basically guarantees that the talent center goes down as well. It's one of those weird ones. If there's only a town center here, all the wolves will target the town center and kill it if the spawn happens on that location, which the majority of the time it does. As we are now seeing, the Chariot Archers able to take down some of these raiders that are not that strong here. Just not enough raiders to push through. And now Chariot Archer raids are going to begin for Shadowfax. Is just trying to get a whole lot of damage all across the map. Another house fallen for Maiden as bronze shields coming through. If you're Maiden right now, attack, attack, attack. Don't chase. Oh, maybe you can chase with these units, but these units need to get going. Get all of that favor income. Get all that damage. Attack where your opponent is weak. Hit this gold mine. Hit this. Just ignore the opponent. We just see a ox cart snipers there, but there is already an extra ox cart over here for Maiden, as the raiders will be able to chase this down no problem. All the longhouses are falling though, so the mummy's just hanging out here. Maiden taking his time, just about to pop hell. He's got enough favor in the bank for a couple of fire giant. And we'll see how that's going to go. He is indeed going to build those. If he's going to get a town center or something. Nice raids here for Shadowfax, picking off a villager or two of Maidens, as well as the ox cart. There are plenty of places on the map where you could sneak a cheeky wood line. So we are seeing this food being finished, this gold mine still getting mined over here for Maiden as the hill fort just about to pop. And the mummy picks off yet another myth unit of Maidens. Maiden needs to focus on taking this down as best as he possibly can. We still haven't seen that Nidhogg get thrown down anywhere just yet. There's really not that many hero units out. This this pharaoh here will get picked off incredibly easily as more buildings getting taken down over here. Meanwhile, the raiding cavalry will attempt to finish off these chariot archers, as they will win this fight barely. But there is a town center here helping out. And the final Chariot Archer actually going to end up living as the trade goes incredibly equal here. And we see a mummy taking down another unit, just another throwing axeman, why not? As the fire giant are coming in. And there's the Nidhogg getting thrown down, but there are 3 priests here already. So we'll see if the priest can get sniped down fast enough. The priests are getting pulled back. The Nidhogg going to be moving in. Maiden still only 2 town centers. Does he have fortified town centers? It looks like he does not have fortified town centers. It's one of those big upgrades for Norse, because it gives you that population without having to spend time with infantry on a town center, so you can continue to attack and get that pressure done very, very nicely. We still have tons of food left on the map, so Maiden should not be thinking about going in with the farms just yet. Just keep getting all of that food as best as you can from across the map. Nidhogg getting some damage done over here. The fire giant are out, ready to start taking down this Migdol stronghold, but I'm sure we're going to be seeing more mummies coming out for Shadowfax as the priests are falling here. You've got to be very, very good with these priests to continue to fight this one well here, as the Hersa pushing through onto these priests, and another priest falling. Nidhogg still here getting big damage done, but you want to be really on top of the villagers. Generally speaking, on top of the villagers is good. We're also seeing champion cavalry coming through from Maiden. So he's spending a lot of resources on the cavalry here. We just see a mummy is in. That means these fire giants need to be scared. The mummy does move faster than the fire giants by quite a bit, and that's going to mean another dead fire giant. But while the mummy comes in, if you micro this, you can get your other fire giant to at least trade 1 for 1. But the fire giant actually managed to survive there with the help of the healing spring. If you notice that, the mummy does 100 damage, like 100% damage that your opponent's unit has. It doesn't do 600 damage to a fire giant. It does 100% damage. If the unit is getting healed while it gets attacked, turns out it survives the special attack. Little known feature. So a way to make the Colossus survive is to have it eat a large gold mine while everything's going on, as the mummy is moving back in. And another fire giant getting taken out, but it stays alive? No, that one doesn't. 10 HP. And 10 HP. It's making me very, very angsty here as the The mummy just keeps on getting value when it should just get clicked on every time it moves in, but it's tough to do that when everything on the map is getting set fire to. As Shadowfax just continuing to hit those raids, we will be seeing the Nidhogg eventually falling here. 45 HP remaining, 35, 25, 15, and falling. As now units moving forward here, the Fire Giant will be able to finish off this Migdol stronghold, even though Shadowfax is attempting to rebuild it. It's not going to be enough. Fortified Town Centers is coming through now for Shadowfax, and honestly, at this point, Maiden's got so many resources in the bank. One unit, get this town center up. Mark it over here, fine. Get yourself fortified town centers, good. Do it all. When you're ahead, get further ahead. Maiden is in a very, very good position here. We even see him cheekily grabbing the food on this location over here. Imagine Ulfsark over here, Temple, getting yourself Rampage, and then you can build a whole bunch of those Mountain Giants to tear down this town center as well. Rampage is such an underrated, super good technology. As these units still pushing through. Champion Raiders, so many upgrades here. How's Shadowfax upgrades going? She's got Copper Mail, and that's it. Maiden needs to get some more upgrades coming through as well. As you see Maiden getting himself those iron shields to make the chariot archers do next to nothing to his units, but the raids still happening on Maiden's units here. Maiden he needs to spend his resources. I don't know why he's not spending his resources. He's got 4,000 in the bank. He's saving for the winter. It's already winter. It's time to spend. It's time to spend. We see another mummy coming in, ready to say goodbye. Good night, Mr. Fire Giant. It's been nice knowing you. In fact, he takes down the high HP Fire Giant. Maiden, he's got a billion resources, but he's not at 130 population. He's getting himself flood control and fortified town centers. Finally, still not getting himself this town center. I'm still very confused about that. Going to move back over onto this gold mine over here. Villagers moving everywhere. There's no attempt at really walling off the map here either. It's very important in these situations to do that, to prevent these raids, but neither player has really managed to do so, as the mummy does get taken out. Running away is, if you're a Loki player or just a Balder player against Osiris, running away from the mummy is never the option. Sit, fight, and whenever it comes in, just accept that you're going to lose a Fire Giant and try and trade one for one with the mummy by just flinging fireballs, and it dies really, really quickly. As the Ulfsark pushing in, take down that Pharaoh yet again. Still lots of population for both players here, as they're both still sitting 2 town centers, and we do finally see an Ulfsark on this town center over here. We'll see a barracks get thrown up, a longhouse, as the chariot archer raids continuing. Shadowfax is playing this very, very well from behind. This is the, if you're ever behind, this is the way to get back, is if your opponent hasn't walled up, you can get cheeky little raids onto them and just really make life hard for them. Make them have to use a lot of their awareness, their APM on reacting to your raids. And that way you can find a way back in. And look at this micro from Shadowfax. He's just saying, no, I'm going to pick off all these units. I'm going to even have a look at this town center. I'm going to deny that one. You're not going to get that at all. And Maiden's still not able to make any push forward here as the siege tower is going to get taken down. And the elephant walking forward, ready to take these throwing axemen down. For some reason, we're seeing throwing axemen built by Maiden. It's just an absolute nightmare. If anyone's nightmare was real, just get those villagers off of wood, build a metric shit ton of farms, and build food units. It's the only unit you need to build against Ra. Ursa Cavalry. That's it. That's it. Don't build throwing axemen. They're sad. So sad. Now we see a stray barracks coming up for Shadowfax. I actually really love this barracks series going after this town center. And Maiden has not got the units out to defend. He's got a whole bunch of longhouses, but he's just not spending the resources. He's just not spending his resources. He's trying to spam buildings down. Maybe he's getting distracted by the misses. See some of these chariot archers getting taken out over here as well. Some more longhouses getting thrown up. Now the Fire Giant comes out, but a mummy's already here to greet him. Though it looks like the special ability has been recently used. Fire Giant just going to get away from here. Maiden is just trying to work out what it is he can do here. He's still throwing Axeman. Throwing Axeman is so bad. 16-second trade time. Just make some Herso, my dude. Or better yet, just like a bunch of farms would be good. Anything. Shadowfax now floating a whole butt ton of resources as well. Well, let's see his upgrades here. Is he starting to get some upgrades? No, still no armory upgrades. Looks like we're watching about a 1650 level game. There's so much chaos in this game. It's so hard to do everything right. Throwing Axeman, getting taken down. We do see an attempt at a hill fort here, but the throwing Axeman do end up getting taken down as a champion. Right, it does come out. He's going to say, "G'day," but he's not going to be able to do all too much. And right now, man, it's going to be like asking the question, like, why am I not winning? It might be the excessive amount of resources, too much economy, not 4 town centers situation that he's found himself in. You do see of this Fire Giant finally getting some value here as a stray tower gets thrown up for Shadowfax. He's trying to push in here. But once Shadowfax gets this town center, he's just got all the advantage in the world because he's going to go 20 population more. And even though he's kind of behind on the economy, and he is behind on the economy, it doesn't matter that much because the town centers are the population advantage. Doesn't matter if you're behind on economy if you've got equal tech, which he basically does. How does Maiden make a way forward here? He's at 140 or 140 pop. You can go for a Village or Ragnarok here by making a whole bunch of Ulfsark out of these gatherers. Get yourself, is it 500? Or if you got like 20 villages, you get yourself 1,000 food and you just click Ragnarok. Click Villager. Click Ulfsark. And then you can push through kind of a lot of stuff that your opponent has. We are seeing Maiden going to be going after this town center here. But Shadowfax, guess what? He can make Mercenary now. He can make Mercenary now if he so chooses. We're still seeing the raids from Shadowfax being very, very annoying here. Trying to push off all these gold mines. Hill forts getting thrown down for Maiden. Still no walls for Maiden. Maiden's playing like some 2006 level mythology here. He says walls are for the weak. Walls are for keeping children in. Not for keeping me out. Is that how it works? And now Maiden's actually found himself in a position where he could potentially get a gold staff here. The trade route hasn't been set up for Shadowfax, and Shadowfax is now moved on to this gold mine, which Maiden's going to know about because he just saw it, and now he builds a whole bunch of Ulfsark. We do see this town center getting taken down, but again, like throwing Axeman up, dealing 5.4 hack damage to a town center, whereas everything else does more. These champion spearmen are not something to be trifled with. They still do a whole bunch of damage. You see these 3 chariot archers taking down ox caravans of Maiden as well, making life very, very challenging here. And the village is getting taken over here. What a crazy game. Now Shadowfax is going to be going up to 4 town centers. 4 town centers to 2 town center advantage with Egyptian against Loki here. Fighting your way back into this game is going to be tough, and we see that all the units over here have ended up falling as Maiden has not been able to get this town center down. He is able to chase these raiding cavalry down, but this champion spearmen are out, and they still have half decent upgrades, and Maiden really doesn't have that great of an upgrade against those spearmen to keep the raiders alive to take down those chariot archers here. Shadowfax is 157 of 180 pop. He'll be up to 180 of 180 very, very soon. The problem is, though, obviously, that if you run out of this gold mine and the trade route's not really set up, it's going to be tough. We are seeing an attempt at Maiden to throw down a hill fort onto this position, but there's no way in just yet. The spearmen do spot any attempted units coming over here as well, preventing all of that. And it looks like Shadowfax has managed to solidify his position after seemingly an unwinnable position here. A very, very good comeback. The mental game from Shadowfax off the charts here. I've seen a lot of players quitting early, and Shadowfax did not quit early here. He said, I got this. I'm going to do my best, throw up a bunch of towers here and start sieging this town center next. 163 of 180 pop against 116 of 140 with 7k wood in the bank. Still, hill forts up everywhere, not just yet. There's no real way in here. We've got Migdol here. We've got Migdol here blocking all of the possible entrances. Double walls here, the classic chemo walls on this position. The mummies just do so much damage. And Maiden, I'm not sure exactly what he can do here. Maybe go after this town center with a side push. This town center getting repaired back up. We've got architects. We've got fortified town centers. We've got sun-dried mud brick. Made 96 of 130 pop. He's got no buildings left. So many villages. So many villages, and he does end up tapping out there 33 minutes into the game. I would say what a game from Shadowfax, but I think this is kind of just like a game of throws here. You had Shadowfax with a really, really good position with his Son of Osiris, and he threw his Son of Osiris. And then Maiden had a really, really good position with his Nidhogg, but then he kind of threw his Nidhogg here. Then he just had just a perfectly reasonable position, and he just allowed the mummies to just continue to push in. Instead of just sniping them and trading one for one, he would retreat away. When the mummy is useless after it's used its special ability, you just stay there and you snipe it down. Not getting this town center up was a question mark maneuver in of itself, and therefore Maiden was just not able to utilize that economic advantage that he had. And you can see it right there, right? You can see it right there. He's got 8,000 wood, 2,500 gold, 2,000 food, and he just wasn't able to use it because he didn't want to commit a unit or two to this town center. Just a question mark maneuver. And I think a lot of this does stem from a history of Egyptian supremacy in the late game. And it's very scary for a Norse player to accept that they might have to go into some quasi-late game against an Egyptian player. The difference is that in this position, Maiden was so far in front that he could push for that position and be able to win very, very simply and easily if he gets there super fast, much faster than Shadowfax could have potentially got here. So he could have definitely done that and been completely fine here. He could have also potentially won this fight if he didn't lose all those fire giants. And so many opportunities here for Maiden to win, but Shadowfax did take the game. This was, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is a part of the Destroyer tournament. There are multiple different casters casting this tournament. I would recommend keeping an eye on the Age of Mythology Twitch channel to see when they're going on. I'm not sure if there's a scheduling forum and Discord or if it's over at RTS Sanctuary. But anyways, this is the game. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.